Hello, and welcome to Marketplace with Charles, brought to you by Art of Skincare, the company that brings the beauty in you. On Marketplace, we aim to empower, encourage, and equip you with the right tools that you need for you to move closer to achieving your entrepreneurial dreams. Each week, we'll bring you insight from experts in different fields of business, from men and women of faith, but also from ordinary people from all walks of life. Today, we explore the subject on growing sustainable business. We speak to a business consultant, a tax consultant, a tax practitioner, and a motivational speaker, a man of such learning and experience in the areas of business consulting, financial management, banking, and business financing. He has spent many years in the banking environment, out of which he gathered an invaluable wealth of knowledge on matters pertaining to your business financial soundness, as well as other areas of business development. Welcome, Mr. Kenneth Mhlongo, with me in your home today. Stay with us for some more value-adding information. I hope you will be blessed. According to God, lack of knowledge leads to destruction, be it your personal, your relationships, well-being, or business. There are many zealous people out there who would or should by right have all it takes to make all business succeed. However, one major obstacle stands in their way: lack of adequate knowledge. We live in a fast-paced world, especially where business is concerned. You can't run a business today on a yesterday's information, because in business, information is a highly perishable commodity. Every business person needs to be on the cutting edge of any information that has to do with the business that they run. Mr. Kenneth Mhlongo, welcome to Marketplace with Charles.
Thank you, Charles, for having me on the program, and good day to all our viewers out there.
In a nutshell, can you explain to our viewers your business, what it entails and what you do, the name of a business?
Yeah, Charles, thank you for the introduction. First of all, as Charles says, I'm Kenneth Mhlongo. I am a founder and a managing director of Castor Care Consultants. And as you already indicated, we are a business consulting firm, which was established from humble beginnings in 2009 in Nelspruit, Mpumalanga. So just to perhaps explain what we do as a business in terms of the service that we offer, I'll just use an illustration, Charles. I'll use a child as an illustration.
Yeah.
Basically what we do, we get involved at the conception of the child, when the child is being conceived. That's where now when the entrepreneur come to visit us, they explain to us exactly what they want, the kind of business they want to do and how they want to do the business. So based on that, now it gives us an opportunity to sort of recommend an appropriate or a suitable entity for them to run the business. And once that recommendation has been agreed upon, and the next step is that we get involved in terms of giving birth to the child itself. That's where now we help the entrepreneur to register the business in terms of the Companies Act. And then the next stage, we get involved in terms of bringing up the child. What we do there, we actually assist the entrepreneur in terms of in all aspects of business compliance to make sure that the business gets registered properly in terms of compliance. And then the next stage now we get involved in terms of growing the child. That's where now we assist the businesses in terms of positioning in the market, and also assist the business in terms of strategies on how they can grow their revenue. And the last part that we do, which is, if I may call it, it's core of our business. That's where now when the guys start to make money or when they start to print the money, that's where we start to assist the clients in terms of making sure that their businesses remain competitive and also they remain sustainable. So that's in a nutshell what we do. As you said as well, we are offering accounting and bookkeeping services, and we're also offering tax services as well.
That's a lot.
Yes.
It's a lot. You know, I so wish that I had met you earlier on in my life. Maybe I'll be far by now. And hope the viewers out there will be inspired. They're going to learn a lot from you today. From all what you have said, I want us now to take it step by step. You said you help to do a business setup.
Yes.
What is a business setup?
Basically, setting up...
That is that the stage where you spoke about the conception?
Yeah, okay. Business setup, conception is more of formalizing the business.
Okay.
But now,
let's talk about business setup.
Yeah, in terms of setting up the business, after all the formalities have been done, then the next stage, naturally, is that the person obviously needs funding to be able to establish and to operate the business. So in that instance, what we do, we assist the clients in terms of actually drawing up bankable business plans, And obviously, before you draw up a bankable business plan, you need first to position your business in the market. And that's where a lot of people actually go wrong. You want to go into food business, for instance. But the question is, where do you want to play? Because already there are existing players in the market.
Yeah.
So you need to make sure that you position your business in such a way that people have to come to me, not to go to the next guy. So that's where we're at in terms of setting up the business, and then help them with market research and make sure that the business actually get customers.
And you call that basic setup?
Basic setup, yes.
And do you charge for that?
Yeah, of course we do. We are not a charity organization as much as we want to help, but obviously we are in business.
For every voice, there's an invoice.
Of course. There's no free lunch.
But honestly, you rather pay for a good service rather than to go blindly and make mistakes because you don't want to pay. That's a way to go. Yes. Look, one other thing that I've realized that most people, they start business with an oomph, with a zeal, but somewhere along the way, they lose that energy, they lose that excitement. What could be the cause of that?
Yes, so there's quite a number of reasons that actually makes the business to falter. Some of them, they are very obvious reasons. Things like, for instance, poor sales, poor customer service, poor cost management, poor quality management. But at the same time, I think this is something that I would like us to talk about today. There are those areas that are not so obvious, but they are actually very critical in terms of making sure that your business continues to exist. And just to put that in context, think of yourself when you started as an entrepreneur. I know you're an entrepreneur of note. When you started as an entrepreneur, what was top of mind for you? What was top of mind for you was to get the business registered as soon as possible. And naturally, the second part was there to get funding so that you should be able to establish and operate a business. And the next step for you, what was top of mind, is to make sure that you get customers into your business. And obviously to get the money to roll into the business and also to print the money. That was top of mind. But as top of mind for you, did you have a thing like business compliance as a priority? No, because the nature of entrepreneurs, the entrepreneurs by nature, they are geared to make money. So things like business compliance, it's something that is not really a priority for entrepreneurs. So and that is not totally true, because lack of compliance as well is not good for business. It can affect the business negatively as well.
And as a consequence of these failures, what can you say about that?
Yeah, the consequences of lack of compliance, Charles, are dire sometimes, in a sense that they are actually costly. I mean, if you take an easy example, you look at a guy that established a business and he goes on for 3-4 years without actually complying in terms of the tax regulations. He doesn't do his returns. He does not pay his taxes. What happens? SARS picks him up after some time.
That can be dangerous.
Yes, he's got a huge debt and penalties involved. That can actually break and destroy the business. It can close the doors of the business. So compliance, it's very critical, as much as we look at it as the other things, but it's also very critical in terms of sustaining your business going forward. And that's what also destroys a lot of business. Yes.
In fact, when you speak about SARS and you don't comply, sometimes they're too hard. You jump paying your revenues by a mere 1 day. 1 day. It's 10% penalty.
That's correct, Charles.
And 10% penalty could be heavy.
Yeah, quite heavy. Yes.
It's heavy.
Yes.
It's heavy. Well, viewers out there, this is quite interesting. Doing your business and doing it right. Let's take a short break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Marketplace with Charles, with my guest, Kenneth Mhlongo. We are discussing business here. He's a man full of knowledge. I know him for many, many years. I think at one stage you had a franchise of your own.
Hey, that's correct, Charles. Yes, definitely.
But today I can guarantee I can beat you on that business.
No, I know, definitely for sure.
No, I can beat you.
Yeah.
You know, in my business now, we no longer sell burgers.
Yes.
We sell speed and service.
Oh, excellent, Charles. You know, it's so interesting because a lot of people, they don't really know what business you're in, actually. They think you're selling food, but you're selling something else.
No, I'm selling speed and service.
Speed and service, yes.
And I'm making money out of that.
Yeah, that's correct.
And for that matter, I can tell you, my competitors and the people who are next door to me, who copied from me and started selling burgers as well, they're out of business because they were selling burgers. With me, I never looked in that way. I looked into the speed.
Yes.
I looked into services. I looked into excellency.
Yes.
And I retained my customers.
Very true, Charles.
What can you say about the importance of market positioning and managing profitability?
Charles, market positioning is so critical because, you know what, a lot of people, I've seen quite a lot of bad things in business happening to business people. They tend to spend a lot of energy in terms of trying to establish the business. But one thing that they do not apply their mind properly on, it's to really do a serious search and sort of soul searching to say, where do I want to play in the market? It's very critical because if you lose it there, you're not going to make it because you're moving into a space where there's already competitors, guys that have been in the business for a long time. Exactly what you said. There are a lot of people selling burgers. But then you decided to position your business in terms of saying, I'm not going to sell, I'm going to sell speed, I'm going to sell efficiency, I'm going to sell service. That's how you position yourself in the business. And if you fail at doing that, then you can be sure you're not going to make it in business. You know? And it goes beyond just establishing the market positioning. The important thing as well, you know, the market is ever changing every day. So you need to up your game to look, to watch what the competition is doing, and see how you improve your game in terms of positioning yourself in the business. That's how you survive in the business. You know, the reason why you're successful today in the business might be the same reason why tomorrow your business is collapsing, because you get into a comfort zone.
You know, I like what one of the former CEO of one great company said. He said, you don't have to do anything wrong, but as long as your competitors can catch the wave,
yes,
you're out of business.
That's correct.
I've looked into many different companies today which are out of business, or they're no longer doing as well as they used to. You know, when Google came into play, we used to read and have huge volumes. You know, that's what our Google. Yes. But today it's easy. It's in our fingertips. And now I'm imagining the writers of those huge book of volumes, had they went and converted their books electronically, they'll be far today.
Yes.
You look into the music industry.
Yes.
We used to have what we called LP, the long plays.
The LP
and the short plays.
Yes.
You know, we used to have huge cassettes.
Yes.
You know, and nowadays they're no longer there. You know, it has been changed into CDs. Later on, the memory stick, USBs. And now, things have even changed. If you carry a CD, we simply laugh at you.
That's wrong.
You know,
definitely.
We simply download a simple song.
Yes.
You know, and only that song that we want. It's a different ball game.
Yes.
You know, so you don't have to do anything wrong. But if the competitors can catch the wave,
yes,
you're out of business.
No, definitely. You're 100% correct. That's like I said in the beginning as well, to say, look, the reason why you're successful today can be the same reason why tomorrow you get out of business. Because sometimes you get so much absorbed into your own business and tend to lose the focus of where the business is going to. So you're not proactive. Then you're sitting with a business it's basically a dinosaur, you know? Like you're still selling LPs, you're still selling cassettes, but the business has already moved miles away from that, and they're already into into downloaded music and those kind of things. So in business, you have to always be on your toes in terms of moving ahead of the competition, you know. That's how you success, and that's how you bring money in business. If you can't do that, then you'll not be able to do it.
Talking about business growth, it can be exciting at some times. But there are times when this can be challenging to an entrepreneur. What expectations are there for the entrepreneur, and what can they do to overcome these challenges?
Yes, Charles, it is every entrepreneur's dream to actually grow his business. You know, but unfortunately, we don't realize that growing your business comes with its own challenges.
Yeah.
Just to take a quick scenario, when you start with your new business, you're basically doing everything in your business. You manage your revenue yourself, you manage customer service, you manage sales, you manage your quality in your business. It just becomes easier. But as you grow your business, you might have to set up 2 or 3 more branches of your business. In that instance, you're not sitting there every day to manage the business yourself. Now the business is in somebody's hand. So you need to start dealing with issues of like, how do you manage revenue? How do you manage the risk? The guys can start stealing you from as well. They can compromise on the customer service. They can compromise on the quality of your product and the business. So those are the challenges that comes with growing your business. Obviously, how do you address them? You need to make sure that you need to have systems in place wherein, even though you're not physically there in the business, you should have something that will act as triggers to see that there's something wrong happening in my business, and you should have a strategy as to how you need to address that as a business person.
You know, you remind me of my early days with Art of Skin Care. You know, it was a one-man show. I was a production manager. I was a sales rep. You know, I was the receptionist. You know, I was a PA to myself. Those days, you know, I can't forget those days. You know, so at one stage I was sitting in my office. It was a small office, you know. And when someone calls, I'll say, "Hello, this Art of Skin Care. Can I help you?" They say, "No, I want to speak to Charles." Then I say, "Hold on, let me call him." I put the phone down. I take a deep breath and a glass of water. Then I come back, pick up the phone again, and say, "Hello, Charles speaking. Can I help you?" You know, we had to do everything. But today is different. I mean, if you walk in there, it's a beautiful reception, people working there, you have got the productions, you have got everything all together. You know, the same thing with my restaurants. You know, in the early days, I was doing everything by myself. You know, today, you were doing renovations, as an example. You know, I can't even go down there and lay the tiles. You know, I need hands. Somebody once said, if you have got only since you have got only 2 hands, you can only handle 2 things at a time. And if you want to make millions and print money, like you're saying, you need more help. You need assistance.
Yes.
And I think it is proper to set up your business properly, right from the beginning, and have these expectations and have strategies to mitigate against these shortcomings. But now, having said that, what can you tell our viewers on capacity?
Charles, just quickly, I'll talk about the capacity, but just a quick one. You said something very interesting. It is also a good thing that when you start a new business, that you get involved in everything, because that makes you to understand exactly what's happening in business. It's a good experience.
Not only that you understand.
Yes.
The staff respect you as well. Because if the staff know that you know.
Exactly.
If the staff know that if they're absent, you can still carry on with the business.
Yes.
They'll respect you.
That's correct.
But if they know that you don't know anything about the business,
yes,
they'll take you for a ride.
Yeah.
Anyway, you can take
and very interesting as well, Charles. But the trick is here, because some people now, because they were doing things on their own, what tends to happen naturally is that they even when the business grows bigger and bigger and they're not able to cope in terms of capacity, they do not realize the fact that the business is outgrowing them. They still want to run it themselves. And that's when the business gets into trouble. You know, because they don't see that the business is, you know, sometimes not even in terms of capacity. Maybe the level where your business is, you need a certain expertise in terms of managing the business. And the business outgrows you. You need to recognize that and say, you know what, maybe now I need to get some more expertise in terms of taking my business forward.
Well, viewers, on that note, let's take a quick break. We'll be back shortly.
Greetings, Pastor Abraham S. Raja. I want to invite you to join our Bible School KBSM. Why us? First of all, our material is available all over the world. Our YouTube clips contain all of our teachings. We are a fully correspondence Bible school, and our first year is absolutely free. And I want you to know that our 5th year program permits you to be eligible for a doctorate in divinity at the Lighthouse Seminary in the United States of America. So why waste any further time? Join us today. Our information is on the screen.
Welcome back to Marketplace with Charles. I am sitting here with my guest, Kenneth Mhlongo, who's an expert in what we're discussing today, setting up the business, basic structures of the business. Allow me to call you Njomana.
Oh, thank you, Charles. If you want to please him, you call me by his name.
Yeah, Njomana. How does an entrepreneur sustain the growth in the business?
Charles, firstly, for you to sustain your business, like I said in the beginning, the reason why it's successful today might be the same reason why it makes your business to collapse in future. Mm-hmm. Then you need to always reinvent yourself as a business in terms of market positioning, in terms of the service that you offer in your business.
Yeah.
But of critical importance as well, which is the other thing that we will discuss at a later stage, is that when the money comes into the business, it also presents challenges in terms of how we deal with the money. Because, and what's also of critical importance is the issue of cash flow in the business.
Yeah.
You need to manage it effectively. Mm-hmm. If you don't do that, a lot of guys get into a trap where they just acquire assets in the business, but not at the same time eroding the cash flow in the business. So you're sitting with a business that has got lots of assets, but this business is technically bankrupt because it does not have cash to operate the business. It does not have cash to grow the business or even to sustain it in difficult economic conditions. Mm-hmm. So you need quite a lot of things. It's quite a very wide topic, but I think those few things I've touched are actually very critical. And also to look at issues of compliance to make sure that your business is sustainable.
I need you to touch briefly on the question of outsourcing. How important is it when you grow your business?
It's very important, Charles, because there's no one who is an expert in everything. Then as a person, firstly, you need to recognize that there are certain areas where you're not an expert. And that being the case, if you don't have expertise in you or within your own staff complement, that's when now you look at issues of outsourcing. And not sometimes outsourcing, not outsourcing because you can't do some of the things. Sometimes you need to outsource because some of the things are not your core business. Mm-hmm. They are part of a business. So if you focus on them, you really lose focus in terms of what is your core business. I am a business consultant, but some of the things that we're offering, we actually outsource them, because we know exactly what is our core business, and that's where we focus on. And the rest of the stuff, we can outsource it from time to time. And it's also sometimes make economic sense not to have expertise in the company, which comes with a lot of cost, but sometimes you need to outsource it.
In fact, one of the classical examples of outsourcing, which worked very well for mining houses, is transportation.
Yes.
And fuel stations.
Yes.
It's also transportation. Because they realize that transportation is not their core business. They are there to mine gold, they are there to mine coal or any precious mineral. But transportation is part of the process, but it's not their core business. And they decided to outsource it. And you know what they've achieved? Through outsourcing, they've cut down the number of workers, but those people are still working because all those drivers are still driving. But now they drive their own cars. And when they drive their own cars, they come to work for you, they are more careful.
Yes.
They drive them nicer. They've cut down on overtime rates. Yes. They've cut down on the labor strikes. And many, many issues by outsourcing what is not core to you.
Yeah.
So that you concentrate on what is core.
Mm. And what you're saying, Charles, is very important. And over and above that as well, sometimes some other types of businesses are low margin kind of businesses, for instance.
Yeah.
And then if you're not making a lot of profit. So if you
not necessarily, you yourself, you're not making a lot of profit.
Yes.
But the other person could make a lot of profit because to him, that is his core business.
That's correct.
But to me, it is not core and the margins are small.
And you look at some of the guys who are involved in low-cost margin kind of businesses.
Yeah.
Having transport as part of a business, transport comes with a lot of maintenance costs. So you don't want a situation where you've made a profit. Come end of the month, your profit is being eaten up by 3 trucks that have broken down.
Yeah.
You don't want that, you know. So that's the reason why sometimes, depending on the kind of business, it is actually compulsory for you to outsource those kind of services because there's a huge capital layout that is involved in terms of acquiring the assets and also in terms of maintaining the assets. So
on that note, Kenneth, Njomana.
Yes. Thank you.
People that want to outsource you now.
Yes.
Where do they get hold of you?
No, Charles, if they want to get hold of me, they can follow us on our Facebook page. They can contact me personally on my cell phone numbers, 072 4055 807. And they can contact me directly, or they can follow us on the Facebook page.
You can also outsource me on charlesngobeni.com or on Instagram, Charles_Ngobeni, or follow me on Facebook, Charles Ngobeni. That's all we had for this week. We'll continue with the topic next week. God bless you and stay blessed.